Hello. No big plans for the day, so I took it easy. Well, I did have class. I have a hands-on gardening class I take at the city college here, and it's a lot of fun. The fruit and vegetables of our production all go to the community garden, and it's just a few doors down, so it makes it real convenient, and it's a win-win for everybody. Yeah, so that's what's happening so far today. Let me see. Currently, one of the things I'm working on is consistency. And here on this YouTube channel, I've not been overly consistent because I was factoring in my heart health. Imagine that gimpy heart thing I spoke of earlier in one of the very early videos, few of the very early videos. Anyway, I had 36 sessions of a heart PT class, and that consisted of biweekly cardio exercises and strength training, mostly cardio, and feeling a whole lot better from that. I've also just recently had my echo, so something to look forward to is I'll be going over the results of all of that when I get them from my doctor, first part of November. But in the meantime, it's growing here on the channel and getting better and more consistent. And the hummingbirds in migration, or they've just loved my garden. I'm not sure which, but I've got about 4 or 5 of them vying for 2 feet or so. If I'm distracted, I'm distracted, but it's a lot of fun. One of the things in learning how to manage my energies and my gimpy heart and my healing process is that I actually have to take the time to take care of me. And I'm a newbie at that. Maybe you can relate. As I've gotten older, I've learned that less is more, and less is more better for me, much more better for me. I know that's grammatically incorrect, but it's how it jams in my brain and makes it stick. So the last vlog I spoke to planting seeds, which might seem odd in the fall season, but life is what it is, right? But there's some seeds that grow in the fall and things that definitely do better in the fall than other times. Kind of depends on where you are in the world. But I spoke to the seeds of change and changing seasons, and that was the thing. So distracted. Those hummingbirds are lovely. Um, Let me get back to you on that. Okay, so the last time I was talking about seeds, about chaos, not just in the garden, but life in general, and transitioning into this Groovy Happy You vlog. There's some changes going on in the background, and I'll fill you in on that in a little bit. But for now, it's a beautiful journey. Today, I want to talk about the transitions within change. I want to talk about the gains of small changes, how just small changes can make big changes. They don't all have to be grand and humongous changes. Like when I went from being a meat eater, never eating beans, and all of that, it was a bit of a transition until all of a sudden, yeah, I did a huge big change, but they don't all have to be that way. Change is like a ripple effect. Small changes are a start. They're chaotic, they're messy, they're not neat. Very seldom does life show up like a magazine picture perfect moment. You can start small. You don't have to start big. My garden over there in my back 40, as I call it, I have this big grandiose idea of a food forest, and in my mind and in my plotting, it will get there. But for now, it's pretty messy. I'm surprised I haven't heard from management yet, knock wood. But I'm using recycled totes. I'm using equipment that I have or stumbled across or found or begged or borrowed or been given, gifted. It's messy. It's will never be in one of those famous magazine articles, but it's the way life generally is. it's not a it's not a picture perfect moment. Those are just fleeting moments that are hours and hours spent in the creation for that one little click of a camera or a brief vlog. You know, life's much, much more dramatic than that, much messier. But every small change leads to the next change. Change is like a muscle. You can grow it, you can expand on it, you can build it. I don't quite have my guns yet, and I still have those bat wings. I've got them covered up today because there's a bit of a chill. But yeah, it's kind of on the messy side, kind of like my hair is today. Every little small act of care is a drop in the ocean of changing and creating the world we want to live in. And one of the most underutilized and underleveraged aspects of making change is actually caring for yourself. It's the changes you make with and for yourself. Can you imagine what it would look like if people actually chose their values and their ethics and they lived them? That would be a pretty amazing world to live in. Much, much grander than the one we have right now. One of the things that my Gimpy Heart PT class gave me was some idea of what expansion in my own lungs and physical capacities felt like in my own body. And so with that class, I was also working on my own to figure out what it looks like and feels like in my body. And now that PT's over, I'm working on getting more regular. I'm still managing to get some cardio in and my strength. And that's not just steps, that's actual strength and actual cardio where there's a safe range where it's helping and not harming. And that's my aim. That's one of the things I'm doing now. It's a change. It's definitely a whole new change for me to be taking care of myself and to thinking of myself. It's not the way I was raised. I was raised in this culture to be of service to others, to care for others above myself, and to put others' needs above my own. Not just culturally and socially, but also within my own family dynamic. It was the way it was set up. In my sixth decade, I'm finally learning to take care of my needs. And sometimes I'm disappointing people, and sometimes it's hard on me because I've been conditioned so differently. So I'm figuring out my new schedule. The changing of the weather is throwing another change into it and factoring out an ideal schedule. I don't think there is an ideal schedule. You just got to get up and do it. But here we are. I don't know if any of us have it all completely figured out. I mean, I get up, I work on one thing, a small goal. I'm getting better at the editing. I'm getting better at consistency. Better's become my new catchphrase because I don't need to be perfect. That's another subject for another time. Small changes, they add up. The small change, which is actually a huge change in self-care, caring for myself, in choosing my values and my priorities. It's small. I'm small. Neither of us, neither the change nor myself, nor the effect is small. It can have huge ripples. And that's what I'm hoping for this channel and for Groovy Happy You going forward. I'm learning that the biggest factor in improving the quality of my life is me care. Who knew? It fits right in with the ethics of permaculture, people care, earth care, fair share. All of that involves me caring, me showing up, me capable. And that begins with me care. And we're not taught that. And we're not encouraged that concept. And that's not accidental. And we don't have to continue to show up for others depleted. We can take care of ourselves. And I know I've had all of the same programming and reactions of when do I have time for me? But that's the start. That's the small start. Every little small thing you can do to start is the start of a new you, a new way of showing up and being. And that's part of the wave that will create the changes. For humanity, the people care, for the earth care, and it'll ensure a fair share. Because I think people genuinely are good. The smallest act of self-care is the change in the world. That's what's possible. The smallest act of self-care ensures that you have the capacity to live your values and ethics. And that's the way to change. Maybe your small start today is taking time to appreciate a cup of tea in the afternoon. Maybe it's sending a kind text to a friend you hadn't heard from that's been on your mind. It doesn't have to be big and grandiose, but it's a start. Anyways, how would you like to start? What kind of changes have you made recently? What small start could help your vision that you'd like to see for the world? Anyways, if you have any thoughts on that, put them down below. I'd like to read them. And in the meantime, stay groovy.